Hello, I'm Alec Kerr, the entertainment editor for the Conway Daily Sun, and I'm here with Grayson Smith, who is in the shadow cast of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is going to be at Theater in the Woods this Friday and Saturday. So this is your third time playing Riff Raff.
Third time around.
So how has it been?
So when we first did it, because I was told by Hannah that she was interested in doing this project, and they were going to hold auditions. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do that because I was really busy at the time. But eventually I did decide to do it, obviously. And I didn't think it would become as big as it did. Like, I thought it was going to be all right. I do it, I'm done, move on to the next thing. I didn't think that year after year we keep coming back, and it's really awesome that we are.
Yeah.
Because it's so much fun, and the community that's been built around it is so loving, and like we see the same people every year. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And for people who don't know what the Rocky Horror experience is like, actually seeing it with an audience and seeing it with a shadow cast, why don't you describe that?
So it's a very unique experience because it's a mix of live stage and film. So imagine you're watching a movie and the cast of the film, while on the screen, is also doing all the dances, singing all the songs in front of you. And as a show, you get to really interact with it. You don't often get to like yell things at the screen when you see a movie. You don't get to throw toilet paper or toast.
Because everyone gets a bag of props.
You get a bag of props, and you get like a party horn, you get like cards, and like there's a lot of people, because like it's the film itself has had like what they call a cult classic.
Yes.
I believe, and I believe the Rocky Horror Picture Show is the most definitive statement of a cult classic.
Yes.
Just in the sense that like there's people like, for example, Mark Sickler. This is his 40th year doing this particular show. Not with us. We've this is the third year doing it, but like he's been doing it for 40 years.
Yeah.
And it's just like that kind of draw that keeps wanting to come back year after year to do it.
And it's the longest running film in history. It's still in theaters because every year it plays at Halloween. So it's the longest running film. It's playing somewhere at all times, somewhere.
Somewhere. It's always going.
Yeah. What was your first experience with Rocky Horror? Either just watching it alone or watching it with an audience?
So I was admittedly probably a bit too young to be watching. I feel like that's how a lot of people were. Yeah. I must have been in like 6th grade.
Yeah.
And I saw a YouTube video with Eddie's Teddy, and I was mesmerized. I was like, I need to seek this out. And I asked my father, I was like, what is this? He's like, it's the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I was like, the what? And so I watched it, and I was like entranced. And like years later, when I was in middle school, in like 2015, they had the BBC did a live broadcast of the Rocky Horror Show, the musical, and I watched that. Me and my friend Seth, we must have watched it 1,000 times. So we just loved it that much, and we would like sing the songs, we would quote them. And when again a few years back, when Hannah said, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing a Rocky Horror Shadowcast," I was like, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah. What has been your craziest experience with Rocky Horror? Since, as you said, there's returning people, the audience is very interactive, it can get pretty wild. So what is the craziest interaction you've had?
That's a toughie. There's been a lot of strange... So when Rocky Horror, there's the callbacks, right?
Yes.
And some of the callbacks aren't how you say official. So there's like the official ones and ones people have that are like local or like made up. And then sometimes they'll just shout completely random things. So you get people who maybe this is their first time, they want to get into it, and they'll just start just shouting things.
Yeah.
Completely off the cuff. And it's like, that, I don't know if that really fits there. and sometimes it takes me off guard because I'll be like doing my dance and someone go, bananas! I'm like, okay.
Guys like bananas.
Yes. That's
Or maybe
right.
he thought you were going bananas.
I mean, it's a pretty crazy show. I mean, I wouldn't put it past someone to assume that, but it was like, all right.
Yeah. So you are lip syncing the movie.
Yes.
So you're not actually delivering the dialogue yourself. So how do you stretch that particular muscle?
So when you see the movie as much as I have and the rest of us have, I mean, I assume you as someone who watches a lot of movies, you have those movies that you can just quote verbatim when you watch them. And that's what it becomes. And so, like, it's almost as if it's pantomime almost. And so, like, you just know the film on, like, a track in your mind. And you just, like,
Yeah.
and just, like, it immediately will come out of your mouth. And, like, we found the other day that a dance we learned the first year, we did the second year, and now we're doing the third year. Immediately, just from hearing the music, my body just went into it.
Pure muscle memory.
Pure muscle memory.
Yeah.
So it just becomes a figment of just doing it over and over again, and like you just get used to it. It's just something that comes naturally to you.
Now, Riff Raff, as portrayed by Richard O'Brien, who wrote the Rocky Horror Picture Show, is a very particular person.
Very sketchy character.
Yeah. Do you try to imitate Richard O'Brien, or are you doing your own very particular Grayson thing?
A bit of both. I'd say it's very much the signature movements of the character I do, but also I like to add a bit of my own because I do have a bit more stage time. Being is that it is I am on a stage. You see a lot more of me. Mm-hmm. So I have to do a bit more to like show, except otherwise I'll just be like standing there like a statue the whole time, waiting for someone to deliver their line.
Right. And you're not one of the people that actually turns into a statue.
I know. So I had the benefit of free movement.
Yeah. And I actually did bring some props with me because I actually, crazy as blasphemous as it is, I prefer the sequel that no one's ever heard of called Shock Treatment. I got this vinyl from our local record store for $4 because that's how little people think of this movie.
It's not bad.
I like it. And then I have the DVD, which I had signed by Patricia Quinn, who plays Magenta. I'm not even sure what their relationship is.
Brother-sister.
Brother-sister, but they kind of act like lovers too.
Yes,
it's very confusing.
That's how they're aliens.
They're aliens.
I guess on their planet, brothers and sisters.
That maybe they're, yeah. I don't know.
I think the less said about that aspect, the better.
Yeah.
But no, Shock Treatment. Because they tried to bring it to the West End, I'm pretty sure.
They did. There was an actual performance on the West End. It did pretty well. I actually reached out to the director. I was like, hey, can we bring this to the U.S.? And he was like, no. Richard O'Brien's like kind of prickly about it because Richard O'Brien's not a huge fan of the movie. So it took a lot of convincing just to allow it to be adapted for the stage.
Well, it has such a really interesting history because there's like 3 different drafts of the script. And I think in many ways, like the Rocky Horror Picture Show had the benefit of going through so many different stages to get to where it was.
Right.
Whereas Shock Treatment exists.
Right. It was originally supposed to be a direct sequel, and Frank Enfooter was supposed to come back, but then Tim Curry didn't want to come back, so they had to write him out of it. And it basically is an unrelated film. Brad and Janet are in it, but they're played by different actors. Richard O'Brien's in it, but he's not playing the same character. Patricia Quinn's in it, but she's not playing the same character. So it's best to almost view it like a separate thing completely.
Well, I think he called it not a sequel, but an equal.
Yeah.
I think that's what the term
that
was been used was.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm a fan of it. And Richard O'Brien, he actually says the music is better. He just doesn't like the story.
It could use work, and I imagine if it ever did get brought back for stage, it could be like really hammered out, and because like it's really fascinating because especially when it was written, you know, it's like kind of like seeing into the future of like reality TV. It's all like, it reminds me a lot of like Gremlins 2.
Yeah. The stage version removes, and I actually think it's like one of the best characters in the movie, the Bert Schneck character.
They removed Bert?
They removed Bert.
How could they?
They did. I was like, oh man, okay, I got to wrap my head around that.
Getting rid of Bert, I mean, that's like sacrilege.
I know. You know, he recently passed away, the actor that played him.
I know.
So may he rest in peace. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about? I mean, how about your cast? I mean, I know
Oh, the
there's been a
cast.
kind of a rotating cast here. You have a few people that are the same from year to year, but then you bring in some new blood. So
New this year is Mackenzie Hester and Seamus McGrath. And hey, that's me and Hannah Jo. So we traditionally like to keep the same people. Sometimes, we like to mix it up a little bit, get some new blood in there. Chelsea was Janet last year. This year, she is Columbia. And it really is like a very strong bond because I know all these people very personally. I mean, I live with Mackenzie for a while there. And so, like we're all very close, very good friends. And I just enjoy spending time with them and getting to do this all on stage, just like having fun with your friends.
yeah,
You're just playing around.
yeah. And what are you doing for yourself since this is your third time to kind of keep it fresh?
Well, we kind of add little bits and pieces every year, a little bit more. So I traditionally don't get added on a lot of stuff. But sometimes, like I'll get a little bit of things added for me. And it's just because we do it we only do a couple of performances a year. I never really get bored of it. So I don't really need to get it to be fresh because it's just like, I'm just excited to do it again.
Yeah. And what is, if you had to, I know this is kind of a difficult question, but do you have a favorite line or a favorite song, a favorite moment that when you get to, you're really excited about?
I love Eddie's Teddy. It was a song that got me into Rocky Horror. It's not that, which is a strange song to get into. It's like the one that most people forget about, but it's the one that I always gravitated towards for some reason. It's just a really catchy song. And every time that comes on, I'm like, yeah, I like this song.
And yeah, so is there anything else that you want to express about this?
Yes, if you come in costume. Most people do, but some people don't. You could dress like that even.
With no clothes at all?
Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah. Should at least have underwear.
At the very least, wear underwear. I can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah. And I suppose we should warn people, if it's your first time seeing Rocky Horror, if you are a virgin to seeing Rocky Horror, you will be singled out.
Yes, unfortunately so. But I think it's more fun if you don't know that.
Yeah.
If you were just dragged onto the stage.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to you, what's about to happen to you.
Yeah. Yeah. You will be slightly tortured.
It's not really torture. It's pleasurable.
Well, yeah. Yeah. You'll be yelled at. You'll be asked to do things.
Important things, valuable things.
The crowd up on stage for two. They're going to have some crowd members on stage sitting.
Oh.
That is true.
That is true, yeah.
We have 2 tables on the stage, and we have some people. So I think we have a couple of those available left.
Yeah, I thought I saw that because I assumed those are the premium seats, and I saw that Hannah Jo posted that all the premium seats were sold out.
So those are the coolest seats.
Yeah.
Those seats, I could actually come up to you and shake your hand, or do something much more vile. Yeah, it's kind of cool because again we add things every year. Who knows what we're gonna add next year? I mean, next year I might fly.
Who knows? You might Peter Pan it.
I think that'd be a cool change. Frankenfurter just flies onto the stage.
That would be a different reveal.
I think that'd be an amazing reveal. It'd be really cool.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, it is it's Believe in Books Theater in the Wood. You can get tickets at thebelieveinbooks.com. And yeah, so are you excited for everyone to come out?
I am thrilled. I can't speak more highly of the cast and just the people who come see it because it's a show where you can't have a bad time, and we've never had a bad crowd. It's just people love it so much. Yeah, I'm just thrilled. I'm excited.
All right. So make sure to check out Grayson and everyone else in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's Friday and Saturday. Only 2 shows, so if you want to do it, you got to get out there. So yeah,